Hey everybody, today I want to talk to you about this disaster here in the Philippines. It's a state of national energy emergency that President Marcos declared back on March 25th. He made a statement saying that there was 40 to 45 days worth of fuel here in the Philippines, and he was going to enact some things to help the country conserve their oil and fuel consumption. But little did he know how bad it was going to get. As this emergency has been developing, everybody here knows that price of gas has gone up. The price of gas has gone up here $6, $7, sometimes $8 a gallon, depends where you're buying it here in the Philippines. I just bought gas the other day. It was a 99.9 pesos per liter. So we'll just round that up to 100 pesos per liter. That's 375 pesos for a gallon. That's roughly a little bit over $6 for a gallon of gas. Now, put that in the same context you have in the U.S. You're paying $5, $6, $7 a gallon in the U.S., but that is probably 15 minutes worth of your salary, your wages that you earn. Here in the Philippines, $6. That could be almost a day's wage. The average here, or the minimum wage, is what, $8? It's 485 pesos. That's $8 and something a day. And that could be a 10 or 12-hour day, depending on where they're working. And a lot of people make less than the minimum wage here. So they're spending a lot of money for the fuel. Also, cooking gas has gone way up. Everything is going up and up in price. And this is leading to higher inflation for everything. And it's the same back home. It's the same here. But the Philippines is hit pretty hard. The Philippines imports 98% of the oil it gets from the Middle East. And it comes through that Strait of Hormuz, and it comes over here to the Philippines. Easy normally. Easy route, short distance. But now there is no oil coming in. Thank God for Russia. Or thank God to President Trump for lifting the sanctions on the oil from Russia. The Philippines has been buying oil from Russia. I saw a picture of some Russian tankers that are in Manila offloading. So that's all good. Got an extra supply of oil coming in. Marcos came out this morning and said they have enough oil now to the end of June. So 1 week later, he went from 40 or 45 days, which would have been the end of April, but now they're good until the end of June. So that's all good. Oil is flowing a little bit, but it's very expensive. I got gas the other day, as I was saying, 99.9 pesos a gallon. The guy at the pump, I asked him, how much, you guys got plenty of gas? He goes, no, we're going to run out. And then I'm going to be without a job. And once he's without a job, he told me he has a motorcycle payment. He's going to have to give up his motorcycle. So a lot of people are going to start losing their jobs here because of the oil. It's not the price of the oil. It's the availability to the average person to get this gas. And diesel is the big thing here. Diesel for the trucks. Now, Negros is very popular for its sugarcane. So the price of sugarcane has gone up because of the delivery fees. You have these trucks that are running on diesel. They go out to the fields, they collect the sugarcane, and they take it to the processing plant. If they run out of diesel, these crops will end up burning in the field. They'll just be worthless crops. So diesel is going to be very important here because everything in the Philippines is delivered by truck or by boat. And all those go by diesel. Also, public transportation. The rates have increased a little bit on the trikes, 5 to 10 pesos for the ride. I notice a lot of people are saying that they're giving the driver extra because of the fuel cost. Also, the Jeepneys in Manila. The Jeepneys in Manila, they went on strike for a couple days because of the high cost of the fuel. And, the city of Manila, or the area, the National Capital Region, the NCR, over 9 million people use public transportation every day, and Jeepneys went on strike for 2 days. So that's causing havoc, and it's causing disruption of services. Some of these smaller islands, their electricity, they get from their generators, which runs on fuel, and they're going to run out of fuel, and then they're going to have blackouts. They're going to start saving fuel by having rolling blackouts. I don't know if Negros is affected that way. I don't know how we get our power here, if it's geothermal that I see up on the mountains or some other means, but we haven't seen blackouts yet or brownouts due to the fuel shortage, but it is coming. It's going to happen. I have noticed the traffic is way less traffic now. Usually Mondays are very busy on the road because everybody's been off for the weekend. They head into town, do their shopping, their banking, whatever they got to do. This Monday, very little traffic on the road. And traveling wise, it's Holy Week. And Holy Week is a very busy week. This is the week where so many people go back to their hometown. They go back to the province. The kids that are working, in Cebu and in Manila, they're going to leave and they're going to go, to Chaton or whatever small town they came from to visit their family and spend some time over Holy Week, especially Good Friday, Saturday, and Easter Sunday. Good Friday is the big holiday. Most places are going to be closed on Good Friday. Ferries, the cost of ferries have gone up. I have gotten announcements through email, and also I watch on Facebook. A lot of this stuff comes over Facebook. The ferries, Maya Shipping started raising their rates. OceanJet is raising their rates or adding a surcharge to each ticket. Also, the ferries, I noticed OceanJet canceled a lot of ferries when this first started back a week ago. Some places that the ferry would travel 3 times a day, they're down to once a day. Some places where they travel 4 or 5 times a week, they're down to once a week, the less popular routes. So they're cutting back on the trips that they take, conserving fuel, and making buying a ticket harder to do now. They're sold out. I was going to go to Behold this week and went to purchase the ticket, and it said sold out on the day I wanted to go. So, one, it's the holiday, a lot of traveling. 2, less ferries are running. Also, the airlines. Marco said that he's been informed from other countries that if the Philippine Airlines flies into their country, they are not guaranteed the ability to refuel there. So a lot of international flights have been canceled. Also domestic flights, some flights have been canceled. They're juggling the schedule. The cost of airplane tickets is on the rise, and I mean rising fast. The price used to be for me to fly up to Cebu. I would be very happy if I could get a ticket at $60, and $100 was like the norm, and I didn't really like paying $100 for a ticket. Now, if I could get a ticket for $100, I'd be very happy. They're more like $150 to go up to Cebu and Manila, and they're going up daily. They're going up daily, and less flights because of the fuel shortage. Now, what is this going to mean to the average Joe here, a foreigner like me? Well, traveling is something I'm cutting back on. I am not making a lot of trips. I refill my fuel tanks now. I used to wait till, I was under a quarter tank, and I would pay 300 pesos, fill it up, and I'd be happy and on my way. Yesterday, when I got gas, it was just under a half tank, and it cost me 500 pesos to fill that up. So I'm not going to take the chance, and I'm not really worried about the price. The price is not the thing. It's availability. So say I want to take a ride around the island. Say I want to go down to Sipalay. That's a one-day trip down, spend the night there, and then come back. Well, what if I get there and there's no fuel? There's no gas, and I can't get back home. So I'm going to hunker down. I'm going to stay in Dumaguete. I'm not going to do a lot of traveling, day trips, even down to the boulevard. I'll do that, but I'm not going to go far. I'm not going to go like past Darwin or past Subalan. I'm just going to bunker down and wait for this to end. I'm not booking any trips to Alona Beach or Behold. I have to go up to Cebu, but I'm going to see how long I can put that off. And the longer I can put it off, double-edged sword, the longer you put it off, the sooner this will be over, or the prices will just keep increasing. So travel, domestic travel, right now is a big thing, tourism. With these fuel prices like they are and the inability to get tickets sometimes, it's going to hurt the individual people, the economy, and these smaller towns that rely on tourism. school's out. The government has gone down to 4-day-a-week work weeks. A lot of universities are going down to 4 days a week. I saw Robinson Mall has cut their hours back. They used to open up at 10. Now they're opening up at 11. You know, an hour here, an hour there. That's saving energy. And as a whole, the whole country of the Philippines needs to conserve. A lot of businesses are changing their hours. A lot of places aren't staying open as late as they used to be or open up as early as they used to be. So life has changed here a lot. Now, for all you guys who are coming here, you know, the ones that have planned a vacation in April and May, you know, now that we're getting into the summer months, out of the rainy season, can you still get a flight? Any of you guys booked a ticket or looked at the price of a ticket from the U.S. to the Philippines? Let me know in the comments section how much they're asking for a one-way or round-trip ticket. I think it's a bad time to travel right now. I think if you're traveling, you might want to reschedule your plans, and because the TSA problems, which they seem to have solved, but maybe they haven't. Also, the problem with the fuel, and it just doesn't seem like a great time to travel right now. The geopolitics that are going on, I would hunker down and wait this out. And it could be like I did when I hunkered down to wait out COVID, and I ended up waiting 2 years. Let's hope that's not the case. But I noticed more and more Russian tankers are coming into the Philippines. The Philippines is buying oil. Other Southeastern Asian countries are too. Southeast Asia is hit the hardest here because all of them get their oil from the Middle East, and it's a short ride from, you know, that area of the world to the Philippines and Vietnam and Cambodia and Thailand. So they usually get their oil pretty quickly and, you know, don't have to order too far in advance. But now it's a black market out there. Oil today I saw hit $115 a barrel. I think what they call that West Texas oil is a little bit over 100. But here it's not the going rate. They're bidding on the oil. So you know if they're bidding for this oil, they're paying more than market rate. The Russians aren't going to give away nothing for free, and no businessman is going to give away stuff for free. They're going to try to get as much money as possible out of the cargo that they have. So I don't know if there's a bidding war. Gas has gone up a lot here. Someone told me they anticipate it going up to 134 pesos a liter, which would be 500 pesos, $10 a gallon. How can anybody here afford that? They're buying their gas now. They're filling their tanks, or trying to. But you see a lot of people buying 50 pesos worth of gas, you know, for their motorbikes. Good thing the vast majority of people ride motorbikes. Inexpensive to fill up because it doesn't hold much. But it's the diesel and the economy, and the country relies on diesel for everything. You know, especially the trucks. They bring all the cargo here. You know, they come on the ferry, they offload on the ferry onto trucks, these big semi trucks, and they take it everywhere. If the diesel gets out of control or they run out, we're going to start having shortages. Do I see a price increase in the grocery store? Sunday, I went into Hypermart, and yes, everything's up a little bit. More the domestic items are outrageous. Eggs went from they used to be like $1.19 a dozen, and they dropped down. And I said, oh, it was great. Price of eggs is going down, but it's back up again. Things are just expensive. Inflation is going to take a hold. People who are looking to build here in the future, everything's going to go up again. The price of, you know, steel and building supplies, everything's going to go up because all of this has to be imported. All of it travels here some way, either by boat, cargo vessel, and then once they get to the island, it gets distributed by truck. And because of the price of fuel, all the prices are going to go up. The people who work here are going to start asking for more money to help pay for the price of oil. Cooking gas. I can't imagine how much cooking gas is going to cost me. The cooking gas was 1,300 plus pesos last time I bought it, like 2 months ago. Next time, I don't know what it's going to be. And I hear stories of a lot of people who are just using their dirty kitchen, and they're going out into the woods, into the jungle, and collecting wood and they're burning the wood for fuel instead of using their cooking gas. This is a tough time here, this state of emergency. Does it affect me as an individual other than my travel? Not yet. I can survive the higher costs. That is not an issue. The issue will be lack of supplies. If we start running out of things, that could be a big problem here. Also, the locals, the ones that live up in the mountains, they take these hobbles. These are motorcycles that can hold, 4, 5, 6 people down the mountain. They usually charge 50 pesos a ride down the mountain or up the mountain. And people come down, they get on a Jeepney, they go into town, they go grocery shopping, they buy stuff. Now, they can't do it as often because the hobbles are going to ask for more money to come down. So they're not going to go shopping 3 times a week. They're going to try and go once a week. And the trouble is, they don't get paid like we get paid. They don't get a check once a month where they can go out once and buy everything they need. They have to make multiple trips. Maybe they have a son or daughter who works in Cebu and they send them money 2 or 3 times a month. Well, they have to go down. Every time they get some money, they need something. So they have to go down and buy it. So the trips into town are going to be more expensive. They're going to be less. It's just going to be rough for the locals. Again, as an expat here, we're not going to see too much, but the inconvenience, the long line for gas, I've never waited more than 1 motorcycle in front of me, other than when the attendant went to bathroom break or something. But normally when they're in just the flow of the day, filling everybody up, there's no wait. This time there were 5 motorbikes in front of me and a car on the other side. So people are stopping and filling up more often, or topping off their tank because they're afraid they're going to run out of fuel. The state of emergency, we'll get over this. This has nothing to do with, the Army, military in the streets. What they are watching for is price gouging by some of these gas stations. And there's a few stations that got caught hoarding their gas. They bought gas at a low rate. Their tanks are topped off and they just closed their station. And they're waiting for the price to go up and up and up. And they're going to make a killing off of that gas that they bought because they didn't resupply themselves at the higher rate. And the government's looking for that. There is no hoarding allowed. You're not allowed to, if you're in business selling gas, sell the gas. And, there's always somebody out there who's trying to make more money than they should. Take advantage of a poor guy in a bad situation. So, guys, let's hope this all works out. Let's hope it ends soon. Let's pray that no more Americans get hurt in the Middle East and that this comes to an end and a good conclusion soon. Until next time, thanks for watching.